Hello and welcome back for another edition of Stirring It Up with Tierra Monique, Kitchen Table Talk. And on today's political news segment, we found out some shady business practices going on in Panama. Let's listen and talk about it on the other side.
Welcome back to Panama. Since it was completed in 2011, that building behind me, the Trump Ocean Club that we've told you all about, has seen some hard times. The development company went bankrupt, and it seems most everybody who invested in the building lost money. Except, of course, for the Trump Organization. It was forced out of the building's management, but still runs the hotel side of the business. And even though we found when we stayed there recently, the building seems almost empty, the Trump Organization continues to collect a licensing fee just for the use of the name. Financial filings suggest that by 2010, those fees added up to more than $70 million. Ricardo Martinelli, the former president of Panama, he didn't do as well. The man who helped the Trump Ocean Club get off the ground is now in a federal detention center in Miami, feeling a lot less presidential than he did when he helped inaugurate the building. A billionaire with sharp elbows and political ambitions, Ricardo Martinelli was a perfect match for Donald Trump.
I want to just thank you very much for being here today, and you're my friend. Great honor.
And Martinelli was first to realize his political ambition.
2, 1.
By the time the Trump Ocean Club opened in 2011, he was president of Panama. His very presence sent a message. This was a well-connected project.
Martinelli liked to mention every time that he has a very good business relation with Trump.
Law professor Miguel Antonio Bernal is an opposition member and outspoken critic of Martinelli. He said the Trump building could not have opened its doors without the blessing of the president. Did Martinelli help get this building off the ground?
Oh, sure. Because Panama, you can do this kind of thing without the president advice or president agreement.
Ricardo Martinelli, whom a U.S. diplomat described in a leaked cable as having a limited attention span and making strong, impulsive decisions, had much in common with the future president of the United States. Like Trump, Martinelli also built himself a lucrative real estate empire. He owned Panama's largest chain of supermarkets.
Super 99.
But money wasn't enough. Martinelli wanted power too, which is why he decided to run for president. Olga de Obaldia is head of the Panamanian branch of Transparency International. She found many similarities with candidate Trump.
The lack of experience in government management, campaigning on the ticket of the outsider.
In 2009, Martinelli ran a colorful campaign. His antics earned him the nickname El Loco, the crazy one.
Yo estoy loco para que este país cambie.
A name he happily embraced.
He even created a slogan that he used during the campaign called Los locos somos más. We, the crazy people, are the majority.
And they were. Martinelli won by a landslide on the promise of a better future for Panama. For a while, it seemed he'd kept his word. The economy boomed, unemployment dropped. Martinelli oversaw an expansion of the Panama Canal and opened a subway system. But soon, allegations of corruption started to surface.
Martinelli was more than a president. He was an absolute monarch.
Juan Carlos Navarro is a former mayor of Panama City and a leader of the opposition. He accuses Martinelli of running the country like his own business.
He ruled not only the executive branch, he had his hands in the legislative branch, he had his hands in the judiciary, he broke the law, he broke the Constitution, violated every possible rule, and got away with it for a time.
He really was a person that was looking out for his own interests and not the interests of the country. During his time, what happened in the country was without precedent. It was the largest scale robbery of our treasury.
Not long after his term ended, Martinelli quietly boarded a private jet and disappeared. Days later, Panama's Supreme Court charged him with embezzlement and illegal wiretapping. What did Martinelli do to you?
He violated and tapped conversations I had with my wife, my kids, my entire staff, my professional staff, also with my campaign manager and all of my campaign team.
Martinelli ended up living in the lap of luxury in Miami. But eventually, the law caught up with him, and he's now sitting in a federal detention center waiting a decision on his fate. Panama is demanding his extradition, and he's appealing to the courts. But ultimately, the decision will be made by the State Department, raising the question of whether there could be interference from the White House.
If you would have asked me in January, before Mr. Trump took the oath of office, I would have said no. But with everything that we've learned since January to now, of how there are very blurred lines regarding the business interests of the Trump organization and the business of government, my answer would be I don't know.
I would be outraged if Mr. Trump intervenes and overrules the lawyers and the legal department at state to help his friend Mr. Martinelli stay in the U.S. and avoid justice.
Whether or not the president would still call Martinelli a friend is now anyone's guess. And that's not the point, really. What this situation shows is how sticky the whole issue of conflicts of interest, real or perceived, can be. So how do we frame what we've uncovered here? Do we see it through the lens of corporate responsibility and ethical standards? Or are there also legal issues to consider?
All right, everyone, that ends it for this segment. But it sounds like there's going to be more to follow, so please stay tuned for another episode of Stirring It Up with Tierra Monique, Kitchen Table Talk, political news in regards to Panama and the Trump business practices. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a comment and like and subscribe to become friends of the show. Until next time, be good, be your best. God bless you, and God bless America. All right, my friends, that wraps it up for another edition of Stirring It Up with Tia Monique Kitchen Table Talk. But that doesn't wrap up the Panama story. Seems there's more to it. So this is just one of part 2. So continue on to the next video. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to become a friend. Until next time, take care. Happy holidays. Bye.